about simply treating Parihaka as a historic memory, like a museum piece, and let's create a museum and tourists can come in and we can earn some money from the tourists. Parihaka's view is that that's the last thing we want. What we really want to do is to re-establish a community that operates under these principles of peace, of equality, of self-sufficiency, and to be able to rebuild practices such as gardening, language. That's one of the reasons why we stick, apart from Uncle Rangi, who he hasn't done that. But maybe I think he was a bit overwhelmed with seeing the Paki whānau coming onto the marae. Normally he only speaks Maori, and we normally only speak Maori in our pōriri. But it's part of restoring that legacy of Tohu and Te Whiti. I think if you are to come along, and I would encourage the Paki whānau to come around at the end of the year, we will know whether the Crown is willing to give some sort of support to Parihaka to fulfill that. Parihaka is ineligible for settlement under the Treaty of Waitangi. It's ineligible because Parihaka isn't an iwi and isn't a hapu. If we decide to say we are a hapu or iwi, then we would be eligible. But Parihaka refuses to use that terminology for Parihaka. Parihaka is a kaupapa, is a philosophy, is a community made up and is open to all people and connections who are willing to support that. And so because we don't fit the treaty settlement process, we were never able to bring forward a claim to the government. And so the government believed that by settling with iwi, all of its responsibilities to Parihaka have been met. However, last year, Taranaki iwi, who you were all a part of, put their foot down and said, we will not sign an agreement until you have given adequate recognition to Parihaka, which then put the pressure on the Crown to start talking with Parihaka. It hasn't been easy, and there are a lot in Parihaka who still don't trust the government. They believe that they are swindlers and thieves and liars, and you can't trust them under any circumstances. And some of you in the room may be of similar mind. However, the government has never been in a situation where they are prepared, as they are today, to talk and to at least begin to work out our way forward for us to recognise the past and to work together for the future. So it is an opportunity. And at the end of this year, the plan was to have that the Crown comes forward with what it believes is the best way it can support Parihaka. We've given all of our information, we've given all of our aspirations, given all of our plans to the government, and we are waiting to hear back what they are willing, how they are willing to recognise Parihaka. They were supposed to have given that to us at the beginning, at the end of September, and they're still debating it. We don't know exactly what they are, why are they debating it, what is causing that, but we are waiting. And as a result, you are waiting. We are all waiting to see what the relationship between the Crown and Parihaka can or should be. I believe the ultimate view of Parihaka is that we are not here to fight the government. We are simply here to fulfill the legacy of what Tohu and Te Whiti sought to achieve, which is to create a safe haven, to create a community under principles of peace, to work together as a collective and to demonstrate to the rest of the world one model of how a community can work together. Bueno, tēnā tātou. I don't know if that's way over time. It's a lot longer than what I... But I don't know whether people have questions. Other than that, it's way over time. But if people want to ask questions or whatever, other than that, there is a film showing tonight in Te Niho. The Tātaraki film is going to be shown again tonight, Steve? Yes. And maybe after the film is shown, if you've got questions of what I've presented here.
We've got another quarter now.
Okay, quarter now, 20 minutes.
Anyone's got any questions? By all means, go ahead now.
Ask any question, no help. Yeah, there is no silly questions. Together with your own identity. This isn't about saying you have to give up your identity, give up your connection. Work together. So we only got 3, but 3 is quite a handful.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
I'm from England. And
yes. My father's from England.
Yeah, I sympathise a lot with what you've said.
Yes.
But recently, the British government, when they decided they were going to have a big referendum on Europe
Yes.
and stuff like that,
Protest.
millions of people put in a protest online to ask if they'd have the referendum again. They weren't happy. Could you guys do something like that? Would the New Zealand government listen to that? Would that take that to the government so that they could answer the question?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. And coming from England, sometimes maybe understanding what the political environment within New Zealand is a little bit different. And so in response, I think a fairly good indication is that within Taranaki there is still very strong antagonism towards Maori. And we see that there is no better place to see that as when the New Plymouth City Council, they all agreed to set aside a ward position on council to represent a Māori voice on the city council. That whipped up a huge backlash from the people of North Taranaki, and they forced a referendum, and the referendum was overwhelmingly against Māori having any voice in any political environment. My view is that if we were to put to a referendum the whole thing about recognition of Parihaka or anything to do with about recognising rights of Māori, the level of awareness, of critical awareness around the country is very low. So a lot of people don't know anything about Parihaka. And if they heard that Parihaka had this history, most of them would still be of the view, bloody Maoris, they want more. Aren't they happy enough with what they've already got? We've got a Māori television, we've got Māori schools, Maori television, Maori radio. What else do you want? But, you know, I see this is not a situation of antagonism and conflict. The way that Parihaka looks at this is a level of awareness we need to continue to talk about what Parihaka, not just Parihaka, but other initiatives around the country. I believe we will get to that point in terms of a referendum, or reaching a point where we have sufficient awareness around the country so that we can make an informed decision around how we can live together and work together, so that we can't be seen as Māori fighting against non-Māori, fighting against and factionalising the country. And Parihaka is a good example of this. Many of the people who are very strong supporters of Parihaka are non-Māori. We have a very strong support from, they actually formed their own group called the Parihaka Foundation, and they are pushing government to, I know we've got a lot of tamariki in this room, but it is to put aside Guy Fawkes. So they say, they have the view that why do we acknowledge Guy Fawkes when it has very little to do with New Zealand's history, and we can find other times to do let-off fireworks and things like that, but why not on that day of Guy Fawkes is the same day that the soldiers marched into Parihaka. Some say that Bryce purposely chose Guy Fawkes Day for that. So he waited until the 5th of November to bring his troops in to recognise that connection with Guy Fawkes. But they have a very large group from all around the country who are raising awareness around issues that are aligned with Parihaka, are saying, let's, instead of having Guy Fawkes Day, why don't we have Parihaka Day? And we talk about the concept of peace, we talk about the concept of reconciliation of the animosity and the hurt of the past, and work out ways in which we can come together in the country. A lot of people out there will say, warm fuzzies, flowery, go nowhere, you got to be joking, just sit down and shut up and get on with life. That definitely is the view of a lot of people out there in the country. So referendum, I believe that if we had a referendum today, we'd lose overwhelmingly. There would be strong animosity towards even the want to have anything like that. But I think it's only a matter of time. We will change views within future generations. Parihaka has been taught in schools now, which was unheard of 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I don't know, anyone's going to to school 10 years ago? No one. You know, Parihaka didn't feature anywhere in the curriculum. And 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, you're more likely to learn about the kings and queens of England than you were to learn about any history of New Zealand. So times are changing. We just got to keep moving, keep believing, and keep doing the mahi we're doing. And the Pakipaki whānau here today is part of that mahi. It's part of being together, becoming aware, and saying, what can we do? What can everyone do to change things?